calculate the sizing for a 200 amp 208 volt 3-phase service for a commercial retail store, several steps need to be followed. Firstly, determine the total load. Estimate the connected load by adding the nameplate ratings of all the electrical equipment and appliances in the store. Then apply a diversity factor. Since not all equipment will operate simultaneously, a diversity factor of 0.75 is commonly used for retail stores. The total load is calculated by multiplying the connected load by the diversity factor. Secondly, determine the phase load. Because the service is 3-phase, divide the total load by the square root of 3, approximately 1.732. The phase load equals the total load divided by the square root of 3. Thirdly, select the conductor size. Refer to the National Electrical Code, ONEC, Table 310.16 to select conductor size for the calculated phase load and voltage. For a 200 amp service at 208 volts, the conductors need to be sized for 300 amps. Fourthly, determine a neutral conductor size. For a 3-phase, 4-wire system, a neutral conductor is required. The neutral conductor size is typically based on the calculated phase load. For a phase load of 300 amps, the neutral conductor should be sized for 200 amps. Fifthly, select the overcurrent protection. The overcurrent protection device, either a circuit breaker or a fuse, should be rated for the calculated phase load. For a phase load of 300 amps, the overcurrent protection device should be rated for 300 amps. Now let's consider an example calculation. Assume the connected load is 300 amps. Using a diversity factor of 0.75, the total load equals 300 amps multiplied by 0.75, resulting in 225 amps. The phase load is then 225 amps divided by the square root of 3, which equals approximately 129 amps. Based on NEC Table 310.16, the conductor size should be 300 amps. Also based on the NEC table, the neutral conductor size should be 200 amps. The overcurrent protection should be rated for 300 amps. Therefore, the sizing for the 200 amp 208 volt 3-phase service would consist of conductors rated for 300 amps, a neutral conductor rated for 200 amps, and overcurrent protection rated for 300 amps. It is important to consult the latest edition of the NEC and local electrical codes for specific requirements and regulations in your area. This calculation provides a general guideline, and a qualified electrical engineer or electrician should always be consulted for the design and installation of electrical services. The connected load refers to the sum of the amperage or wattage of all electrical devices that will be connected to the electrical system. This includes lighting, appliances, 8-track systems, and any other electrical equipment. Accurately estimating the connected load is crucial for determining the overall demand on the electrical service. The diversity factor accounts for the fact that not all electrical devices will be operating at their maximum load simultaneously. It's a multiplier less than 1 that reduces the total connected load to a more realistic estimate of the actual load. The appropriate diversity factor depends on the type of occupancy and the expected usage patterns. For a retail store, a diversity factor of 0.75 is commonly used, meaning that it is assumed that only 75% of the connected load will be operating at any given time. The phase load represents the amount of current flowing through each phase of the 3-phase electrical system. In a balanced 3-phase system, the load is evenly distributed across the 3 phases. To calculate the phase load, the total load is divided by the square root of 3. Conductor size refers to the cross-sectional area of the wires used to carry electrical current. The conductor size must be sufficient to handle the calculated phase load without overheating or causing excessive voltage drop. NEC Table 310.16 provides ampacity ratings for different conductor sizes based on their insulation type and installation conditions. The ampacity rating indicates the maximum amount of current that a conductor can safely carry. The neutral conductor is a conductor that carries the imbalanced current in a 3-phase, 4-wire system. In a balanced system, the neutral current is 0. However, in real-world scenarios, the loads on each phase are often not perfectly balanced. resulting in a neutral current. The neutral conductor size is typically based on the calculated phase load and the expected amount of unbalanced current. The overcurrent protection device is a circuit breaker or fuse that protects the electrical system from overloads and short circuits. It's designed to trip or blow when the current exceeds a certain threshold, preventing damage to equipment and reducing the risk of fire. The overcurrent protection device should be rated for the calculated phase load to provide adequate protection without nuisance tripping. NEC 310.16 provides the allowable ampacities of insulated conductors rated up to and including 2000 volts, 60 degrees Celsius to 90 degrees Celsius. These ampacities are used to determine the appropriate conductor size for various applications. The table takes into account the insulation type of the conductor, its temperature rating, and the ambient temperature in which it is installed. It provides ampacity values for conductors installed in raceways, cables, or directly buried in the earth. To use the table, locate the conductor's insulation type and temperature rating. Then, find the column that corresponds to the ambient temperature in which the conductor will be installed. Read down the column to find the ampacity value that corresponds to the conductor's size. Select the conductor size that has an ampacity rating equal to or greater than the calculated phase load. When using NEC Table 310.16, it's important to consider any applicable correction factors or adjustment factors. Correction factors are applied when the ambient temperature is higher than the temperature rating of the conductor. Adjustment factors are applied when multiple conductors are installed in close proximity to each other, which can reduce their ability to dissipate heat. These factors are used to reduce the ampacity rating of the conductor to account for the adverse conditions. The calculations for sizing a 200 amp 208 volt 3-phase service for a commercial retail store are based on the National Electrical Code, NEC, which is a set of standards and guidelines for the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment in the United States. It is important to adhere to the NEC to ensure the safety of people and property. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and industry practices. It is essential to use the latest edition of the NEC when designing and installing electrical systems. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It also provides specific requirements for different types of occupancies, such as residential, commercial, and industrial buildings. In addition to the NEC, local electrical codes may also apply. Local codes may be more restrictive than the NEC and may address specific issues that are unique to the area. It is important to consult with the local authorities to determine which codes are applicable to your project. When designing an electrical system, it is important to consider the future needs of the building. It is often more cost-effective to install a larger service than is currently required to accommodate future growth. This will avoid the need to upgrade the service later on, which can be expensive and disruptive. It is also important to consider the energy efficiency of the electrical system. There are many ways to reduce energy consumption, such as using energy-efficient lighting and appliances, installing a power factor correction system, and using a variable frequency drive to control the speed of motors. By reducing energy consumption, you can save money on your electricity bill and reduce your environmental impact. It is also important to properly maintain the electrical system. Regular maintenance can help to prevent problems and extend the life of the equipment. Maintenance tasks include inspecting wiring, tightening connections, cleaning equipment, and testing overcurrent protection devices. By properly maintaining the electrical system, you can ensure its safe and reliable operation. If you are not familiar with electrical work, it is important to hire a qualified electrical contractor. A qualified contractor will have the knowledge and experience to design and install an electrical system that meets your needs and complies with all applicable codes. They will also be able to provide ongoing maintenance and repair services. When selecting an electrical contractor, it is important to check their credentials and references. Make sure they are licensed and insured, and that they have a good reputation in the community. It is also a good idea to get multiple bids before hiring a contractor. This will allow you to compare prices and services. The conductor ampacity should be chosen based on the termination temperature rating of the connected equipment. Most breakers and equipment are rated for 75 degrees Celsius. Using the 75 degrees Celsius column in NEC Table 310.16 is generally accepted and safe. If the equipment is rated for 90 degrees Celsius, you can use the 90 degrees Celsius column. It is essential to verify the equipment's temperature rating before selecting the conductor size. Using a conductor with a higher ampacity than required does not necessarily improve the system and can sometimes create issues with termination space and bending radius. The NEC provides guidelines for the minimum bending radius of conductors to prevent damage to the insulation. When installing conductors and conduit, it is important to use the correct size conduit and fittings. The NEC specifies the maximum number of conductors that can be installed in a particular size conduit. Overfilling conduit can make it difficult to pull conductors and can damage the insulation. Grounding is an essential part of any electrical system. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which trips the overcurrent protection device and energizes the circuit. The grounding system must be properly designed and installed to ensure its effectiveness. The NEC specifies the requirements for grounding electrodes, grounding conductors, and bonding. Bonding is the process of connecting all metallic parts of the electrical system together to create a low impedance path for fault current. This helps to prevent voltage differences between metallic parts, which can be a shock hazard. Surge protection is another important consideration for electrical systems. Surge protection devices, or SPDs, protect equipment from voltage surges caused by lightning or other events. SPD are typically installed at the service entrance and at individual equipment locations. It's important to choose SPD that are properly rated for the voltage and current of the system. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or SIs, are a type of circuit breaker that protects against arc faults. Arc faults are dangerous electrical conditions that can cause fires. SIs are required in many residential circuits and are becoming increasingly common in commercial applications. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are another type of circuit breaker that protects against ground faults. Ground faults occur when current flows through an unintended path to ground, such as through a person. GFCIs are required in many wet locations, such as bathrooms and kitchens. The electrical panels should be properly labeled to identify the circuits they serve. This makes it easier to troubleshoot problems and to safely de-energize circuits when necessary. Panel schedules should be accurate and up to date. Electrical work should only be performed by qualified individuals. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to follow all safety precautions. Always de-energize circuits before working on them and use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work, hire a qualified electrical contractor. Permits are typically required for electrical work. Check with your local authorities to determine the permit requirements in your area. Permits ensure that the work is inspected and meets all applicable codes. Electrical inspections are conducted to verify that the electrical work has been performed correctly and that it meets all applicable codes. Inspections are typically performed by local authorities. It is important to cooperate with the inspector and to address any issues that are identified. The NEC provides guidelines for the installation of electrical equipment in hazardous locations. Hazardous locations are areas where there is a risk of explosion or fire due to the presence of flammable gases, vapors, or dusts. Special equipment and wiring methods are required in hazardous locations to prevent ignition. The NEC also provides guidelines for the installation of emergency power systems. Emergency power systems provide power to essential equipment during a power outage. Emergency power systems are typically required in hospitals, fire stations, and other critical facilities. Renewable energy systems, such as solar and wind power, are becoming increasingly popular. The NEC provides guidelines for the installation of renewable energy systems. Renewable energy systems can reduce reliance on fossil fuels and lower electricity costs. The NEC is a complex document, and it is important to stay up to date on the latest changes. There are many resources available to help you understand the NEC, such as training courses, seminars, and online forums. By staying informed, you can ensure that your electrical work is safe and compliant. Regularly inspect your electrical system for any signs of damage or wear. Look for frayed wires, loose connections, and cracked insulation. If you find any problems, have them repaired immediately by a qualified electrician. Do not overload circuits. Overloading circuits can cause the wires to overheat and can lead to a fire. Use a circuit breaker finder to identify the circuits in your home or business and make sure that you are not using too many high-power appliances on the same circuit. Use extension cords safely. Do not use extension cords as a permanent wiring solution. If you need to run power to a location that does not have an outlet, have an electrician install a new outlet. Do not run extension cords under rugs or furniture, as this can cause them to overheat. Keep electrical equipment away from water. Water is a conductor of electricity, and it can create a shock hazard. Do not use electrical appliances in wet locations, such as bathrooms or near sinks. If an appliance falls into water, do not touch it. Turn off the power at the circuit breaker and then retrieve the appliance. Teach children about electrical safety. Children should be taught not to play with electrical outlets or appliances. They should also be taught what to do in case of an electrical emergency. Have a fire escape plan. Make sure that everyone in your home or business knows what to do in case of a fire. Practice your fire escape plan regularly. Install smoke detectors. Smoke detectors can save lives. Install smoke detectors on every level of your home or business and test them regularly. Have a fire extinguisher. Keep a fire extinguisher in a central location and make sure that everyone knows how to use it. In summary, calculating the sizing for a 200 amp 208 volt 3-phase service requires careful consideration of the connected load, diversity factor, phase load, conductor size, neutral conductor size, and overcurrent protection. Following the guidelines of the NEC and consulting with a qualified electrical professional are crucial for ensuring a safe and reliable electrical system. Remember to always prioritize safety and adhere to local electrical codes and regulations.